And what's up, everybody? This is None Defense, host of this YouTube channel, and of course the co-leader of the team, still Unboomable, with our real-life leader, Miss Boom Bitch Angie. Say hello, Angie.
Hey, everybody.
And of course the other leaders, Mr. Nick Hill, Bronsoon, officers HB, Titan, Bone, and Marshall. And this video is a part of the Booming Without Borders campaign, and I've spent a lot of time with these Avengers, and the reason I've spent a lot of time with these Avengers is because they're really motivated, and like there's a large percentage of them that are like right there, you know, mentally, you know, and they're like, they know what it is that they're trying to be. Everybody seems to be talking, you know, even this Jeff guy, we're gonna bring him right on around. But Monkey's doing great, Spaniards, Shark, Venom, who's a lady, by the way, I never, you know, totally awesome. Everybody's just been awesome. Gorg's been awesome, Boba Fett's been awesome. Oh, Mark, we gotta get Mark's attention and get him to stop using those weird troop combos. Wheeljack, you know, loving them. A lot of these people that have been popping up, you know, Kaiser, Zorak. We had, in my opinion, yesterday was an outstanding operation, guys, and I don't want, even though the fact that yes, we started Tinderbox and yes, we did technically lose, like I don't think we could have asked for a better operation to just show us how, even though this was the hardest Tinderbox I have ever seen in my entire life, it still was a great way to just show with good, just basic planning and everybody working together. Like, we were right there, and the parts where we fell short where there was people who didn't attack, and that was unfortunate. You know, we'll deal with those guys, you know, in time. And then the fact that there were some other people that kind of went off notes, and in the end gave us some wasted attacks, and you know, those were 2 or 3 attacks that could have allowed us to go ahead and push this thing right off the cliff, you know. So it was a good teaching up, and that's what Booming Without Borders is all about. So what I want to do is, just so you remember the setup, we came over, we filled up your roster. We did have 2 real-life volunteers. That was Mr. Marshall and Bort, and both of them are totally awesome, and you know, have adapted very, very well, you know, to our system of communication. They're not me. And then of course the rest of the attacks were either controlled by myself or my lovely lady, Miss Angie. Mr. Braun, the real life Braun, did pop in for a brief conversation, but he didn't stick around for very long. So anyway, we did upper lip, and we are going to go through the reviews. Now, the last couple of times I reviewed your attacks, you know, there was a lot of negativity, a lot of, you know, had a lot to go over. But I was there on hand. It was just, and you guys were asking questions, and I was just answering the questions, and as a result, everything kind of worked really well. Like Monkey, he started things off on Mercury. Let's see. And we weren't asking anybody to, you know, to save the universe on any one attack. You know, just do your part. Let's start getting some damage on these rockets. Just do what you can, and then fight this stuff over here, you know, and trust your instincts. That's a big part of it. You got to let your guys trust your instincts, but you've got to take the time to train instincts, you know what I mean? There's a balance there, you know. Trust instincts, but coach instinct, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But this was a lovely attack. Monkey, I want to thank you so much for doing this attack. This was absolutely wonderful. And then you had some free guys over here to get some extra bombs, which you put on things. Wonderful attack. Absolutely wonderful. So that was Monkey. So, and this was Mercury. We'll just stick to Mercury for the moment. So, you know, Gorg pops up, and now somewhere I think, you know, all these people are popping up, and we could have assigned them anywhere, but you know, we looked at the situation, you know, we recognized the moment, and felt like Gorg was going to be better suited as opposed to somebody, you know, before him, Warriors, for example. So, pause real quick. There are situations when this is the right way to drop your hookah. I promise in 98% of the time you're going to be better off dropping your Zukas first in this little corner and then having your heavies come over here, and then that way if you do any kind of like side flaring situation, you're just kind of, everything's better positioned. Your Zukas will be more naturally in a pocket behind the heavies. That's, you know, that's a small adjustment you guys can work on. Just practice it, watch my videos, watch my attacks, you'll see it, and you'll see that over enough time, and it's like, wow, this really does set things up much better. But so anyway, so let's see. What I would have done, oh, just to say it, is I would have dropped all of my Zukas, all of my heavies right here, but I'm dropping all of my flags. I'm just have them highlighted in a way so that's happening first. So Zuka, 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 heavy, 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 and then I'm flaring over here, so they're all going to walk here. The heavies kind of create a pocket, you know, and I'm flaring. Really, I want to flare here, and then I'm flaring up here, you know what I mean? So it never cost me really much smoke or anything. Didn't have to take any damage. But anyway, you knew what you were doing. These are just, you know, the little improvements that I recommend. Beautiful, you know. And he finished that, and he finished these two rockets here and started working on this one. You know, I love the fact that he's not wasting time shocking things right now. Like, that's not his mission. His mission is to bomb, 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 and he did it beautifully, beautifully. Great job, Gorg. So that was Gorg on that. We're looking for, wait, what was that on? Mercury. Mercury. Alright, Mercury. So this was Grublet. Alright, well, this was me running Grublet. I'm not sure what I was trying to do here. Oh, that's right. I was trying to get cute, and I almost made it work. But the idea was I could get Grublet up here, get rid of this rocket, start eating these power cells, and I felt like a Grublet might be able to get some, you know, get enough bombs to go ahead and just finish this thing off. That's what Grublet's life is all about, you know, like finding those little strange moments to where he can just maximize his, you know, his opportunity to best serve the team. You know, if you watch all of my attacks, I hope, whether I make great attacks, bad attacks, mistakes, you know, clean attacks, you know, ugly wins, whatever they are, I hope that you'll never say any of my attacks are selfish. Like, if you ever told me that I attacked selfishly, that would really hurt my feelings, because that's never the goal, and I don't want anybody to do that, is don't attack selfishly. Like, do your part, but do your part in setting up for the next guy, you know what I mean? Think about that. Think about how it's going to make the next guy easier. Well, Grublet definitely made it easier for the next guy, because there was no reason to sneak anybody else up there to eat cells, you know, so that was just a perfect Grublet only opportunity. Alright, Frankie. Let's see how Frankie did. He was good. He kept popping up in chat, you know. He wanted to participate early, but he was in school. Now, it seemed like a lot of you are school age, and that's fine. You know, you'll find a system and find a, you know, a schedule that works for you. But even one of the leaders, Venomous one, is what she said, a substitute teacher, which is totally awesome. Great attack, Frankie. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. Man. So, you know, y'all definitely want to find a schedule and pick a schedule and just kind of make that like your schedule. You know, just figure out who the real leader is, like the one who seems to be talking the most and most. I'll be honest, my eyeballs tell me it's Shark Killer. He just seems to be popping up a lot and doing a lot of things right. He was one of the ones that made contact with me originally. He was one of the ones that supported me on my original trip. Just my eyeballs told me, I mean, if all ranks were removed, my eyeballs would tell me that he's up there, you know. But Venomous one is huge as well. You're all, you know, the ones that were talking. Everybody that was talking yesterday, for the most part, like, that's your team. Make a note of everybody who attacked well on this op, because that's your team. Those are the people who that are going to make great drop. Beautiful drop. Wonderful. But these are the guys. This is your team. Like, these are the guys. Don't look at their level. Don't worry about that. Look at the fact that they are willing to make the adjustments that they got to make to improve for the team. That's That's beautiful. That's what Booming Without Borders is all about. Great job. Wonderful, Paul. Okay. So, let's see. So that was, oh, Dusty. You know, I mean, in the end, I'm kind of working around Dusty. I don't know what he's getting for intel. I'm not going to really look. You guys got to decide what you're going to do with him. For now, he's not doing any harm as much as just not helping. You know what I mean? But this is just dumb. The sooner you can, you know, get rid of Dusty. Excuse me, that's not really the right answer. The right answer is we need to coach him. So we need to get his attention. If we can get his attention, then maybe we have a shot at getting him on the same page with us. If we can't, then there will be a point he's going to have to get kicked. You know, no hard feelings. I hope nobody shows up, yeah, but Dusty's been on the team since the 70s. You know, I was like, okay, well, I don't care, really, because if you're not with the team and paying attention to what the team is up to, then it doesn't really matter. Boba Fett, let me just say right here, in this situation, I'm kind of hoping that you would just go ahead and position your troops first. You know, I didn't coach it, and remember, none of the leaders are going to be able to coach every single detail. So this is all about just training instinct. I'm hoping that you would go ahead and get your troops in position first, then begin your bombing. But let's say that, notice how you spread your bombs. This is the part where I say, pick a plan, stick with it. You could have easily taken out one of these cannons. You know what I mean? You could have, you know, just pick one. So that's what I'm saying. Like, don't hit them both. Hit one until it's gone in this situation. Does that make sense? But generally speaking, when I'm doing a sneak around, we really like to, where possible, get our troops in position first. But there are definitely times where you need to drop your gunboat first. So, you know, whatever. That's just nitpicking. But you definitely want to pick a target and stick with it. Okay. Alrighty. Now, we discussed this, and you know, whether you wanted to agree or you just felt pressured to agree, but the evidence showed that the medics did not help us here. In fact, the medics cost you the win because a few extra Zukas could have been the difference. You know what I mean? Like, you had this thing on the way down. Like, it was ready. It was all yours. And then instead of having 12 extra Zukas on the field, you had 3 medics. 2 of them ended up or all 3 of them ended up just standing there, not doing anything at the end. So again, it's like, well, why did we bring these guys anyway? So technically, Boba Fett, I have to call that a bad attack because you didn't win. Like, it was so ready for a win, you didn't win. Now, Box Bears, we couldn't get Box Bear's attention. A guy like this he's gonna cost you at some point. He did get the win, but it was a low-level, easy, piddly, weaky-deaky win, you know. And not that he's really strong, but he's not piddly, low-level, winky-dinky either. You know what I mean? So he just kind of like, Box, work with this guy. You know, now if I have to give him credit, he recognized that he'd be able to win without taking any damage. You know, he recognized that. But when I talk about selfish attacks, like this is it. You know, this is the definition of a selfish attack. Yeah. Especially when on previous attack, Boba Fett, he showed us where the sweet spot was. All we needed was some low-level Zukas, and we'd have went ahead and just put that thing away. You know, but Box Bears cost us a level 46 attack with this selfish win. It was a selfish win. But either way, we did get the win, so good job. Through our great teamwork, Box Bears got to steal a win from us. How about that? That's what happened. Gambit. Alright, Savage Scotty popped up. And I don't know if you guys believed me or didn't believe me or whatever the deal was, but I promised that if Scotty does exactly what we asked him to do, and he did exactly what we asked him to do, that Marshall would be able to win. I don't know if y'all believed me, but it was true. In the end, it was true. So let's watch Scotty's attack, Savage Scotty's attack. We just asked him to put some artillery on these two, just get rid of them. You can say, oh, well, he only has to smoke past one of them. Well, yeah, but let's just, them Zookas are weird, man. You never know when they're going to wander on you. So, you know, it's just an extra 3 artillery, 4 artillery, whatever it is. But yeah, his job was to remove all these mines, remove that mine, fight these booms. And he did it, you know, he freaking did it. Brilliant. How you hit all 3 like that, that was wonderful. Like, I was so proud of this attack. This was kind of wasted barrage there, but you didn't know. If I had told you ahead of time, I would have said throw any extra at this. But it was okay. Like, it was alright. And even if Marshall hadn't won, whichever in this is the proper grammar. Wow, now that I know there's a substitute teacher on the team listening to me use grammar, like, now I feel like I have to step up my game. But I won't. Anyway, but yeah, we knew Marshall would be able to take that. So let's go ahead and just celebrate Mr. Marshall. Okay, he is really good at what he does. Notice how he flares back there. Marshall, I know you're going to watch this video, so I'm going to just say this. I'm noticing you have a tendency to flare like kind of up. I'm thinking, just in general, because this is just my observation between the way you do it and the way Nick does it. Nick flares back. So they all kind of walk backwards. Just saying. And then he just got up there. You know, beautiful. You know, got a little bit of damage, but it's okay. He still had enough to finish the job. Nice little shock there. Now remember, he boosted for this, and he has plenty of gunboat statues. But, you know, to do these kind of attacks at the high level, see, that could have been done on almost any of these layouts. Now there are definitely trickier layouts that'll happen, and you'll have to make the adjustments on the fly. You know, don't think all gambits are going to be able to be beaten that way. So that was Mercury, we just did that. Distortion, yeah, Distortion, we won that. Okie dokie. Just asking for everybody, and this is where, you know, the low levels, guys, this is where low levels matter. When you say, hey, I just need some bombs on that, and just fight what you can. You know what I mean? You feel like, oh, well, I really don't feel like I did much, dude. It was huge. You know, you almost took out a machine gun, you removed a mortar, and you did some damage to these rockets. And these rockets, because of the fact that we've been bombing them throughout, it's going to set up a huge attack later. And you'll see it. So that was Warriors. Well done. Just low-level Warriors. Or, you know, that's his guy. He's just low-level, but it's okay. He worked in the system. He believed in the plan. Zorak, alright. He did really well, as I recall. Same thing. Just, you know. Now, Warriors, because he's a little lower level, the lower levels, I usually ask them to commit suicide. You know what I mean? And then let my mids and my highs save some gunboat for shock and stuff like that. So low levels are suicide bombers. Again, if it's good enough for ISIS, it's good enough for me. So alright, so he's going to go over here. I'm going to want you to drop your Zookas first and your heavies and flare up here. But either way, you know, and don't feel like you didn't do a lot, because you did plenty. You know, you did absolutely plenty. You cleared all this up. You did a lot of damage to these rockets. Man, great job, Zorak. Thank you. And that set up the next attack on Distortion, which, if memory serves, was a beautiful attack. And what's happening in real life, for those you know, who weren't there, is I'm just sitting there, I'm just going about my average day. You know, I'm not living on the chat, but I'm checking in on the chat regularly, and I'm, you know, pretty good about, people feel like I'm always on. Well, it's just I'm really good at checking. You know, and then I would see what's going on, and as people would say, hey, I'm available, I'm ready. And by ready, that means you are sitting down, you're comfortable, you're not at soccer practice, you're not at school, you're not at work, you're not, you know, on some jungle safari. You're actually sitting down, comfortable, and relaxed, and ready to give me 4.5 minutes of your life. And then that's it. And then I don't need you for 24 more hours. Anyway, but Shark was ready, and because of the brilliant, easy, simple, well-coordinated attacks previously, okay, then Shark Killer was able to go in and cause some serious destruction. We asked him, Shark Killer, can you finish these rockets and then fight this thing? Like, can you do that? And he was like, yeah. So he did it, and it was wonderful. Like, and that's what you need. You just need guys to not think about the whole base, just think about the small objectives. Work on the small objectives. It was beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, it must not have been Shark Killer that got this thing. Okay, so somebody got this thing. It was the next guy. He got these. See? Beautiful. And because these rockets were weak, he was able to finish those and still have the gunboat that he needed to do that. You know what I mean? So it was wonderful. And then the next guy goes in and fights that shock launcher. Okay, so that was Shark Killer. So Mr. Mick, just a little mid-level, nothing fancy. You don't need fancy. You just need guys like Mick who are willing to do their part. You know, and he popped up when he was ready. And that's the thing. When he was ready, he came into the chat and was like, what can I do? And I said, some version of Mick, can you get rid of that shock launcher? And Mick said, yep, I can do it. You know, and he did it. He freaking did it. Great job, Mick. Like, I loved it. I loved it. And because he's not having the heat of all these rocket launchers to worry about, he's able to use maximum, you know, get maximum effectiveness out of his mid-level troops. And that's how it happens. Okay, so that was Distortion. We're going to stick with Distortion. And then Venomous One. Venomous One, thank you so much for giving me an honest opportunity to just work with me. And we, like, this thing was yours, and you, like, did brilliant, like, awesome, great job. You know, and that was just a team. I believed that you would either win, but I suspected most likely that you would just bust it wide open, and you did, and it was awesome. Great job. Like, see, this, guys, this is exciting to me when the teams are working together and they're trying really hard to do what they got to do. Like, man, you can't ask for anything better than that. Wide open. Okay, now, here's where we had shot ourselves in the foot a couple of times. Sloppy Joe, man, like, this was a win. Like, this was a win. And we know he's not paying attention, and we know he's not going to ever see this video, and he's never going to hear my opinion or whatever. But I'm just hoping everybody sees and understands why this didn't work. It's just he wasn't focused. If he'd have just went a nice little hookah. What was that? What level were his heavies and zookas? Level 17 heavy, level 17 zookas. If he had went just pure hookah, I guarantee he had the shock that he could have held that shock launcher down, and he could have won. Like, it was his. It was his all day long. So, again, just as a formality, we're going to go ahead and watch it. But we know what's going to happen. He's going to get up here. He's going to hold this down. And old Jeff keeps saying, oh, it was Jeff KC, who, and I'm not making fun, I'm just saying he keeps saying, like, oh, you need grenades. Like, well, clearly the grenades were in range there. Now, yeah, we had found some grenades in a little sweet spot, but you're always going to get, like, you're always going to lose some grenades in these situations, so you'd still end up with only 2 or 3 just throwing, you know, wherever they throw, you know, like, no, you need focus is what you need. You don't need random on operation. There are times when just random chaos is the way to go. We'll cover that. But you need focus. Focus is huge. So a focused level 49 attack with level 17 heavies, level 17 Zuka Distortion would have been done. Just done. Right then. It's over. No more attacks on Distortion. Okay. Kaiser, I really wish he would have just chatted with us, just said, hey guys, what do I need? But we talked to him, and hopefully he's going to do better next time. But had he said that, then I would have said, brother, I need you to go on assembly, and I need you to bomb some mines for me, and just help weaken this laser, or help weaken these rockets. Because in the end, it was because of attacks. The guy who ended up beating Distortion, he could have done this without Kaiser's help. You know what I mean? and he'd have done it the same way, and it'd have been fine. So Kaiser, that's why as a low level you need to check in chat. Okay, and then we had another situation just like it right after Kaiser. Runaway Creeper is like, Runaway Creeper, man, just talk to us, buddy. Just let us know you're ready. We will let you know. I guarantee there's going to be some mines somewhere where we're going to need to sneak some Zookas or sneak some warriors. There's going to be just something. When you feel like, oh, but my troops are just so weak, then don't bring your troops, bring your bombs. And don't tell me, yeah, but my bombs are so weak. They do damage. You know, they do some damage. And some damage is better than no damage. So in the end, you essentially did nothing here. You see what I'm saying? Like some of those bombs, I could have used those. I could have used those on assembly. So that was Distortion, 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 and then Tailboy. Like, see, again, without the 2 attacks prior, Tailboy still would have went in and finished this. You know what I mean? And of course, that other guy who could have finished it, he could have finished it. So that would have saved us 3 attacks. So we would have been 3 attacks ahead had everything gone right. But either way, he got the win. You know, and again, at this point, it's just a little piddly win. But the notes called for a high-level hookah. Kaiser and Runaway Creeper, you are not that. You know, and unless you start a brand new team with completely all new players who've never played before, you'll never be the high level on any team. So your role on this team is a low level. You're going to be bombing mines. You're going to be just doing a lot of little suicide runs. Just throw all your bombs, let your troops die. That's the kind of stuff you're going to be running. That's your life on this team. Enjoy it, because trust me, those are the ones that are the most critical. Like, we need more of those. You know, more people who are just willing to just give, you know, bring me your troops, bring me your bombs. So, let's see. Alrighty, so that was Distortion. So we beat Gambit, we beat Mercury, we beat Distortion. Low point. Now, low point, it was the fact that we had low point and assembly that was just like, I've seen a million variations on low point, guys. I have never seen this low point. This was just like insane. Had you guys started seeing a low point like this and I wasn't around, I recommend you just say, you know what, just ignore this one entirely. Let's just go focus on beating the others and then see what we can do. But we weren't scared. Thankfully, I brought, you know, thankfully I have a few friends and with some beef, and that's what this was going to take. So we had Lord Marshall, who was a real life friend of mine, one of my best real life friends in the world. We don't live in the same state, but we've managed to keep contact for about 15 years now. Wow. Anyway, 15 years. But anyway, he plays Boom Beach, and this is his account, but he lets me have access to it for just various reasons and needs. There are other members on the team that let me access their account for various reasons. But anyway, so Angie, my wife, was driving, and the plan was she was just going to commit everything she had to making sure these boom cannons were gone, and then just do whatever else she can was just going to be bonus. You know, I mean, she wanted with Lord Marshall's big, strong super tanks, we would have loved to have done more, but somebody had to take out these boom cannons, and nobody would have been able to get them easily. So that's why we just went ahead and said, all right, we're going to have to commit LM for this, and that's what she did. So we're going to play that. You know, it was just, you know, she knew she was going to be taking tons of heat, and she was just going to do everything in her power to get rid of the boom cannons and then get rid of as many rockets as she can. You know, wasn't absolutely spectacular, but the fact that she was able to remove the 3 booms and almost get 2 rockets was pretty damn good under these circumstances. That was just crazy. Okay, so that was LM on low point. Alright, so then our buddy Bort. Excuse me. Bort is one of our teammates, and he's really awesome. And he has max level Scorchers. So for, you know, for any of the people who are watching the video, it's like, well, yeah, well, that's how he did it. He had max level scorchers. Yeah, pal. Well, I already told you, had we not been able to have a realistic chance at beating low point, then we wouldn't have even tried low point. We would have committed to beating all the other bases. But, like I said, I brought buddies, and my buddies were able to make this happen. So, then Bort goes in. Now that the if the boom cannons are still gone, they're still there, this attack isn't nearly as good. Like, it becomes a lot trickier. But it didn't last long, and he was at work, and he didn't have much time, and he would prefer we were joking with him, asking him to hurry up. He knows that nobody was like really telling him to hurry up and ignore his customers, but we do appreciate the fact that he took time away from his customers to make this attack happen. So thank you so much, Bart. He said he had just kind of a quick lull in the day, and so he just went in there and plowed through it. So thank you so much, Bart. And then Spaniards, who is, you know, one of the higher level tankers of this team of the Avengers, he went in. He had a plan. We discussed it. He just knew that he was going to go over and just do as much as he could to start setting things up. And what I wanted to see was all of these rockets over. I knew that I would be able to shock all 4 of these rockets here, but I wanted to save as much shock as I could, specifically for just having to shock just those 4 rockets. So I needed these gone. So we then asked for team artillery on the other 3 rockets. What was that? That was low point. So Wheeljack shows up and he asks what he can do, and I'm like, man, I just need your bombs. I'm like, you're gonna die. I'm sorry, you know, but man, I need those bombs. And he delivered, you know, he delivered the bombs. So, you know, people will think, yeah, but my troops didn't do much. I didn't need your troops to do much. I needed your bombs. Thank you. Thank you for bringing your bombs. Alrighty, so that was Wheeljack. Thank you so much for that. Then Jeff KC came in, and I have called him out in other videos, you know, about his strange troops mix. A Tankadier, but he was willing to swap to hookahs for me, and thank you so much for that, Jeff. And as a result, like, this was a really good attack, you know. I mean, yeah, you technically could have gone in with your little Tankadiers here, but it wouldn't have benefited you. Like, I know you say, oh, well, if I'd had grenades back here, you're just not. Grenades aren't going to hurt a shield. They just aren't. Yeah, you say, oh, well, they outrange everything. Yeah, but they don't really do that much damage. They just really don't. And what level were your grenades, Jeff? Because here you are. No, level 1 grenades, they don't do anything, man. You might as well be throwing handfuls of BBs at like a freight train. Like, that's what going up against a shield, a protected HQ is like. So, no. Hookah was much better there. And I mean, yeah, it's true. You know, a little bit of damage is better than no damage, but I promise you, you can't guarantee that a grenade situation. I can almost guarantee a good grenade situation isn't going to come up very often, you know. Saying you can't guarantee that they are. So again, but a hookah, you can always use a hookah. You can always use a hookah. Like, you can never, or I've never gone through an op where we didn't need a hookah. Alright, so who was that we looked at last? That was Jeff. I'm looking for Jeff. Jeff. On low point. But he bombed the targets. Thank you so much. And then Muffin Man went in. Like, I don't even know. Okay, no, this one just kind of happened. Muffin Man, I wish you would have communicated. I could have used you somewhere else, man. Like, I needed you. Like, I really needed you elsewhere. This was just not. This was out of your league. I mean, cute effort. Cute. But this is just way beyond your pay grade. I needed your bombs on assembly. So talk to us, low levels. Tell us that you're on. Tell us that you're available. Use your eyes. You know, try to think about things from a low-level perspective. Think about things that, you know, it's like, what's my job to clear minds. It's my job to, you know, throw mad bombs on desired targets. So here we go. This was non-defense. This was driven by me, and you say, oh, well, of course it was driven by you. No, you really never know. The joke on our team is you never know who's really none, and you never know who none really is. You know, I know it sounds crazy, but that's just kind of how it goes. And I knew this was going to take roughly 2 runs. You know, 2 big runs, but I had 2 big runs. In fact, I had more big runs, but these were the 2 big runs. The two big accounts that I intended for low point did exactly what they were supposed to do, and that was none defense and bronze. Richard, driven also by me. Just same thing. Just keep that locked down. Chalk, chalk, chalk. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it was lovely. It was lovely. Awesome. And teamwork did that, guys. You know, and that wasn't just, you know, so, oh, well, some really powerful accounts went in. Like, well, yeah, but we teamed up the powerful accounts. You know what I mean? Like, we used them in coordination. Like, we accepted, okay, we can do, you know, such and such and such and such over here with the lower guys, and we can use our biggers for this situation because it's just freaking insane. So that was low point. We looked at Mercury. We looked at low point. We looked at Gambit. We destroyed one more. We looked at Distortion. So the last one is Assembly. I'm not showing all of Assembly because ultimately we lost to it, and the reason we lost to it is because a lot of attack, or not a lot, but the attacks that were wasted, just imagine in your mind, I'm looking for the first attack on Assembly. Here he is. Just imagine in your mind, you know, I had done all of the stuff that I was going to do, right? And you know the plan. I was going to, you know, we needed this gone, we needed this gone, we needed this laser gone, right? And everything can be working towards, I sent some warriors to help, you know, clear the path. And then the goal is just, you know, clear these mines and then sneak. Yeah, it's complicated. But we had the attacks. We had plenty of attacks. All the little attacks that were wasted or just silly or pointless could have gone over here and could have helped bomb these rockets. Could have helped bomb this rocket. Could have helped clear these mines. Could have helped bomb this laser. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like we got so close to beating this, you know, with just those attacks, those like 5 to 6 attacks that just didn't really work with everybody else would have been the difference. You know what I mean? And that's all it takes. So I think, if nothing else, it just goes to show what ended up happening for those watching at home is we just didn't have the attacks necessary to make everything line up, and I ended up just doing some suicides, just trying, you know, not knowing that it wasn't going to work, but with less than an hour to go on the op, you got to do something, right? So that's what happened here. But all in all, absolutely fantastic operation, guys. You did complete 538 force points, and that is your highest ever that you have achieved as a team. So congratulations. That was you guys. You know, yeah, I was a part of it. I was certainly there and I was involved, but that was you guys. Like, you guys were the ones that made that happen. You know, I didn't run 41 attacks. I ran like 11. You know what I mean? So that was you guys. Thank you so much. Alright, so I'm kind of taking the day off from Boom Beach, just kind of, you know, piddling about the house or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Sometime we're going to do a training operation. Now, when we're doing the training operation, that just means the notes are going to read, warriors only, and do this. Bazookas only, and do this. Rifle only, and do this. But I'm not going to be around to kind of monitor the notes. So you're going to be required to police yourselves and just get everybody to, you know, kind of just talk to each other. Like, we've set the standard. You know what I mean? Let's improve on that. So now you're going to talk amongst yourselves, and you're going to try these different troops. And once everybody who's going to attack has attacked, I'll have plenty of accounts over there. I'll put this thing away, so you don't have to feel pressured to win. You practice, 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 practice. I'll make sure you win. Okay? So don't even worry about that. So, alright, thank you, Avengers, so much for letting me come over. If you're a mid to high level player and you are ready to jump on a team that is at the cusp of something awesome, I suggest you look up the hashtag 20R0YCCV. They are the Avengers, Shark Killer, Spaniards, Venomous One, Monkey. Like, they're very vocal. They're getting, you know, they're there, man. You see what's happening. And I'm privileged to be a part of it, you know, even for only, you know, a few more days. But all right, thank you again. Please remember is that we are still unboomable, and as always, please be safe.